GM, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Wake and Jake. Welcome back. We took last week off. We actually thought crypto was going to zero, so we just canceled the show in perpetuity. But it looks like we're not quite going straight to zero, so we're here to resurrect the show and bring it back. Totally kidding. It's just Labor Day. I hope everybody had a great, week off, touching grass and whatnot. But it was a bloodbath. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was. It would have been a tough show to run, and this one might be as well. We'll see. Stuff in the market is looking iffy. Last week we got a weak jobs report, and there's just a lot of uncertainty in the market, which doesn't sit well with the market. So Bitcoin's at 55K, 55.4. It's kind of just it's a little green this morning, but we've been bleeding out since our last show. So people are hurting a little bit. Sentiment is down a bit. People are bored, but we are still going to suss through what we can and figure out what's cracking for the week. So thanks for joining us. As always, the show's rated NFA. It's also open mic, so please feel free to unmute, chop it up. This one's going to be very lax, very laid back. So feel free to ask any questions or bring up any topics that you want to talk about. All that said, I've got my co-host here, Jake and Bake. He's going to walk us through some stuff for the week. How are you doing today, brother?
Yeah, man, I'm doing good. All things considered with the market. Yeah, it's just it's kind of just one of those weeks where it's there's not a lot going on, unfortunately. And there hasn't been. We just been chopping for what feels like an eternity now. Probably 7 months since March, 6 months, whatever it is. So that's unfortunate, and it hasn't been like a chop up. We've been going down, and alts and stuff have been bleeding and stuff. But we'll get into a little bit about a little bit later about how kind of I'm at least looking at things. But yeah, just trying to stay busy on other stuff. Well, we kind of just sit on our hands and wait a little bit, which is it's been tough. I'm not great at sitting on my hands. I like to trade. I like to make some moves, but it might not be the best market for it right now. But yeah, how you been, man? Any action on your side, or are you kind of in the same boat here?
Same boat, man. I'm all chopped up. It's like how long can we chop before there's nothing left to chop? I'm doing good, man. I actually, touching some grass, spent some time with the kids. This weekend, I actually went and signed up for a consignment sale, to be a seller. So I'm selling some old baby clothes just because I'm all chopped up, man. You got to find some money somewhere. So we're yard selling essentially. But hey, that is some alpha for all of the parents in the audience. Consignment sales, where it's at for kids' clothes, man. It's just it's a no-brainer. It's like a giant warehouse filled with clothes at yard sale prices. I'm just now figuring this out, but that is definitely the move. So it's been a busy weekend. I have never used so many safety pins in my life. I went to Walmart just to you have to pin all the tags and the coat hangers and stuff. Dude, I bought their entire supply of safety pins and still didn't have enough. I had to go to another Walmart and buy more. Got so many holes in my thumbs, but it's gonna be worth it, man. You gotta do what you gotta do for that payout. But that's been my week and weekend. But yeah, over I'd be much more excited to do some crypto stuff. But for the moment, little consignment, little thrifting going on. But talk to me, man. Let's get into macro and kind of where Bitcoin's at, what's going on with it, and any news over the week. I guess past 2 weeks, really. That has impacted the market. Talk to us about your thoughts on a little bit of a crash last week. Where's your mindset at, man?
Yeah. As I've said many times, I'm not certainly not like a macro expert. I like to follow people who I think are who've shown they can be, and unfortunately, they haven't really. The people I follow the most, they haven't really given their thoughts recently. Kind of been AWOL a bit. I know Donald's the biggest one. He's on vacation right now. He said for the next month. So I'm kind of and I just don't think there's really much to give here as well. Bitcoin, if we kind of look at the prices, Bitcoin's down 5.3% on the week. ETH is down 8.6%. Solana down 3%. Showing a little bit of strength there. And so We do at least have like a bounce, thankfully. I think we were in the 53Ks a couple days ago, and now up into 55.5, a little up 3% on the day, in the 24 hour at least. So maybe there's something there. I personally am like not super optimistic right now. But also that kind of seems like it's the general sentiment. There's not a lot of hope out there, I would say, in the crypto world. I'm not sure what the fear greed index is, and maybe I'll have to look that up right now. But I would imagine that the fear side is pretty high right now. In terms of the market, I think there's a lot of uncertainty going around, especially in crypto side, because of the fact that macro is a bit uncertain. Um, right now, but also the election is kind of a big thing that's overhanging here, where it seems like there was some buzz from the Democrat side when the switch was over to Harris, that there'd be more pro crypto stance there, and we haven't really seen anything play out. At least I haven't seen any headlines or anything regarding an actual switch there. And Trump is certainly seems like the option that that will be more crypto friendly if he were to win, and that election is still pretty 50-50. It's been swinging, it's been bouncing back and forth. I think right now Trump is slightly ahead. But just in general, markets aren't big fans of uncertainty. And there's kind of a pretty big overhang of uncertainty with that election right now. Given like if Trump wins, that's likely going to be pretty good for crypto. At least that's the outlook and what he's stated with his policy plans. And if Democrats win, it's that's kind of what the policies have been recently, and the SEC that's been governing crypto, which has been pretty enforcement heavy and not great for crypto. So it's kind of tough right now with that overhang. As I'm talking, Bitcoin's still going up, so that's good.
Keep going.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully we can just keep flooding, and then we'll keep going up. Yeah, like I said, I'm just pretty uncertain right now. I'm not feeling great, but also, like I said, like it's just right now. Yeah, fear is 26 right now. If we look at the fear greed, I'm going to post the link here in voice hangout chat. But yeah, fear is like almost on like the red side, where people are pretty upset with the market sentiment, and like that's historically been usually a pretty good time to at least buy some dips. But I don't know. We certainly been bleeding for quite a while. We could have a pretty big spike down before we actually go up. I think long term macro, like Bitcoin around 45K is a pretty big 45K is a pretty big support level. It's one that Donald's been calling for months now, that he's had on his charts, where he's like that's like a guaranteed buy support right there, where we'll likely bounce quite a bit. Even if the cycle is over, we would still probably bounce quite a bit from there first. And that's kind of like the range I'm looking at right now. If we were to continue to dip, and that's probably when I would start getting more risk on that, or if we really pumped quite a bit from here, maybe over, I think around like 68K, 69K up to 70K, then I'd be really feeling good. But otherwise right now it's still chop range. And yeah, it's just uncertainty. I wish I could give more. I wish I could have more optimism, but I'm just not sure right now. I don't think anyone's really sure right now. It seems like everyone's been wrong and then right and then wrong and right, and then like flip flop. The CT's been flip flop from like we're so back to it's over, and then we pump again, like oh we're back. And yeah, I mean I think just in general it's like it's kind of like a risk off environment, and I'll kind of talk about a little bit later how I'm personally playing it, but yeah, that's my current overview at the moment.
That's great, man. Yeah, I don't fault you at all for being unsure, but I think that's all good info to take away just on all the different fronts. political and fear, especially. I mean, yeah, I'm looking at the chart, at this chart that's linked on the CoinStats app, and it's just the y-axis being so scrunched down makes the chart. I just haven't really looked at the chart like this before, and it looks yuck. Yeah, I don't know. Something just looks off, like on the 1 year. I mean, September 10th last year, we were at 25K. So, we're solid 2x from there. But I mean, we pumped back in February from 50K to 70K. And then since March, we've just bled that out. We're almost back to where we were February, so it kind of just wiped it all out. So yeah, I could definitely understand why the fear index is leaning left, and good shouts on all the topics. A couple things just from chat while we were talking. Maki, the shitcoin is up 2x from pre-sale. That's a good shout from Silva, who gives credit to Enormous James and Lizard Capital for their calls. I didn't pay any attention to that at all. I saw there was some sort of airdrop potentially for was it fantasy top holders, something to that effect. But yeah, I didn't follow too closely. Did you catch any of that, Jake, or anybody in the audience?
I followed it a little bit. I actually liked it, which it's like tough to say because it was Machi, but just the setup of it, it was more. I don't think I don't think he was getting anything directly from it. It was more. I'm pretty sure like 100% of the liquidity, or the raise was used for either liquidity or for buybacks on the token. And Enormous James wrote a field report, I believe, about the whole process as well. But yeah, I actually did like it. But I didn't get in early enough to be like on the featured communities to be able to do like with my wallet. And then once I was gonna go to like do the public round, it was only like $75 a wallet or something like that. And I was like, I don't really want to spend the time multi-walling this. I wasn't sure if like a good tool to use either for multi-wallet and Blast. So I just didn't do it. But I'm glad that it's cooking for people. I know a lot of people in here contributed to that, so I'm happy it's doing well.
Dude, shit, yeah, great call on the field report. Just went ahead and linked it in chat. Completely missed this one while I was swimming in baby clothes. But yeah, good call, man. Good shout. Getting the write up out there and cooking from it. So yeah, hope people were able to get in and get qualified for that pre-sale. Very cool. Well, sorry, yeah, I just want to take a second just to recognize that in chat, but we can go ahead and we can either take some questions or if we want to move on to the next topic, anything beyond macro. Worked for me.
Is Machi selling right now? Is it like live?
It is live, yeah. I can link the where people are trading at on it's a baseline.markets voice hangout chat. Yeah, it went live at noon, so about like 17 minutes ago.
Let's go. Breaking news.
Yeah. I called it up pre-show before recording started. Yeah, anything from you guys on macro? I really don't have much else in terms of my analysis.
Yeah, I have nothing.
Yeah, I wanted to I just want to quick touch on like how I guess like a quick like sentiment check or like kind of a I don't know outlook of how to like of like at least how I'm navigating these things right now. I think a lot of people are probably not trading well. Like it's been in my opinion like the worst trading environment that I've seen like since I've joined crypto, like even worse than the bear. I thought there was at least maybe we're in another bear, but at least worse than like even like FTX stuff. Like I think there's still like a lot of opportunities out there, but right now it honestly just feels like there's so little. And I've seen this same sentiment from a lot of traders that I know who are very good traders and who I follow that I know who are really good traders. And it's been pretty common. Like it's just like Bitcoin itself hasn't fallen too much from all-time high. But like a lot of alts have just been like absolutely crushed. Like I know meme coins have been crushed. and there just hasn't been like a lot of like volatility or like plays, like things that do pump, like quickly reverse like in the same day a lot of times, or even like a 2 day or two after, like below entries. It's just like it's really hard to have conviction in a lot of stuff right now. So I just want to say, like, you're not alone if you are having trouble right now. Like, I'm definitely have not been trading well for the past few months. It's just been tough, really, to have conviction in anything at the moment. It's which I think just really represents like how much of a risk off cycle it is. Like, what's his name, Kobe, who is like one of the best traders, who's like one of the most respected traders in all of crypto. I mentioned this, I think a month or two ago. He had a take that we are not even like in a cycle yet. We're basically equivalent to like 2019 in terms of price action, where we're kind of just bouncing around a ton. And we haven't really even reached the start of the next bull yet, because we haven't really seen any type of like major breakout crypto app, like we have seen last bull, where like 2020, like DeFi was the really big breakout, and then we had NFTs as well, meme coins as well. All those kind of broke out in like 2021. And we haven't really had like the new thing yet, where mainstream adoption is entering back into crypto, and I think we kind of need that in before we really start taking off again, or we need Bitcoin price to be, or Bitcoin to just be gobbled up by extremely large institutions, maybe Federal Reserve hedge, and people to really bounce back on. But right now, like, I just think sentiment hasn't really gotten there yet. And it makes sense. Like, if you see different kinds of statistics, I think like a one that I think really sharp people have mentioned is like the Coinbase app, in terms of like where that is listed in like the App Store in terms of popularity. I think it peaked around 40th or so in the App Store, when we had a really big run up back in February, and like broke new all-time high for Bitcoin. And that's like high, but it's not crazy high, and it didn't sustain for long at all. I think like if you look back in like bull market of 2021, like Coinbase was the number one app for like weeks, I think, during the bull, like all apps. And like I think that's like a good indicator of like retail sentiment. But like we really haven't really reached people back yet. Like I've mentioned this in past episodes too. Like I still talk to people. I still like tell people I'm in crypto, and they like just don't care. They don't ask me any questions. And in the past, like during the bull, like they'd ask me for like my favorite coins and all that shit, what they should buy, and like, oh, like let me schedule lunch or whatever, like pick your brain kind of thing. And now that like has never happened since then. Since we've kind of been in this bear. So I still believe that we're like early into cycle. Go ahead.
They the check, Jake, basically when you guys
What
when you guys go to lunch, basically they pick up the check now. They're like, "Oh, you're in crypto? I'll get it."
Yeah,
this.
right.
Sorry,
Like,
sorry,
oh
bro.
no, like I'm so sorry. Yeah. Probably say behind my
man.
back, oh man, hope he's doing all right.
Yeah, good call about the apps as well, man. I think everybody blew up their Robinhood accounts and are staying away for a little bit. But yeah, you'll see those trending at the top when things are picking up. One question I have, man, I've always been too embarrassed to ask this because I figured I'm just too dumb and not informed. But I have a microphone and no one can stop me right now, so I can embarrass myself. What's up with like 4-year cycle, right? I don't understand why everyone all of a sudden thought that it was going to happen in 2024, like the bull market, because it's like, it just didn't make sense to me, right? It's like 2013, 2017, 2021, 2024. Like it just seemed too early, but I was like too embarrassed to question it. And then we had the halving, so I was like, that usually coincides. So like I kind of just forgot about it. But now that you're mentioning that we're not in a cycle, I'm like, yeah, like shouldn't it just be 2025, or am I missing something?
Yeah, I don't fully fault people for thinking that. I wouldn't put like we've had like 2 cycles that were like that. Like that's historically like not a good like if you're in like statistics, like that's not a large enough data set to extrapolate to be able to predict the future like, oh, every cycle is going to take 4 years just because we've had 2 cycles that took 4 years. It's really like such a small like data set that it's hard to like take that as like the hard and fast rule of how cycles are going to happen. I think a lot of people thought like because crypto has been more mainstream now that it would be a shorter cycle period in between, just because people have already like know what it is, so they'll jump in easier or quicker when things start to pick up again. That I don't think has happened. So maybe maybe we do hit that 4 year cycle again. That's kind of what it's looking like now, at least. Kind of what we talked about with like there really hasn't been any like breakthrough things that have brought people's attention back to crypto quite yet. So yeah, that's kind of just my take on it. I don't fault people for thinking it would be ahead of the time, just because like that is too like small of a data set to like use it as a predictive of the future events.
Yeah, totally. I'm with you. It's not a law, right? It's not set going to happen. But I would counter, just to devil's advocate here. I would counter that if you count 2013 as well. I mean, that is every 4 years since Bitcoin's inception in 2009 that it's happened. So I mean, it's yet to not happen on the 4th year. So I see why people buy into the 4-year sort of cycle mindset. Seems to track, but there's no guarantee that it will happen. But I don't know. I just took 2024 as people getting over eager, like trying to manifest it, trying to happen. But if what you're saying is true, we're not in a cycle, and that is the case, then maybe this is just the pregame. Then maybe we do see some crazy fireworks, just unfathomable in 2025. But probably hopium. That's just what we can daydream about while we're crashing and bleeding out. It's like we'll get them next year,
I do think a really good quote that I like to kind of I guess like illustrate how like why there are cycles in general is this one. Actually, I'm glad we're talking about this. I already had this prepared, thankfully. But it's I think people have like made a crypto version of this, but like the normal version is hard times create strong men create good times create weak men create hard times, and then it just keeps going. Hard times create strong men again. I think that's a good like instead of hard times it's bear market, instead of good times it's bull market, and bull market creates scammers, and scammers create weak markets, and then weak markets create builders, and then builders create bull markets. It can kind of be replaced in that. So I think that was at least a good illustration kind of where we are. Also, while we're on the same point of like data sets, here's a little bit better one, and also a little bit more optimism for you guys. Historically, September, the month that we're in right now, has been the worst. I can't copy this right now. What the heck?
Rectimber is what I've heard.
Yeah, it's been the worst month for crypto in the past, and that's a data set of about 10 or 11 years now. Here's the chart. I'll post it right now on Voice Hangout chat for you to take a look. But yeah, it's on average we've been down 5% or so in September, and that's with Bitcoin just absolutely going crazy over the last decade. So that's pretty notable. I think let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the last 13 years. I counted that right. 9 of the last 12 years have been red for Bitcoin. But some optimism. October and November have historically been the best months for Bitcoin price, where average in October is up 23% and average in November is up 47%. So, maybe it's just kind of a yearly trend. I personally am like not a huge subscriber to these kind of statistics, but I do think maybe there's some validity there with a little bit bigger sample size than like the 2-4 year cycle thing, where we at least have kind of a decade to look back on right now. So some hopium a bit for you guys that we might just need to get through this month and have some clear skies.
So yeah, that's a good shot. I got some more. Oh, side note, that's like a screenshot for ants. I'm glad you read it out because it's so small. You can't see anything on there. Um,
Yeah, I tried
I
to
have
post the real one, but I had to like snip it and screenshot whatever.
You're good. You're good. I have some more hopium too. I got another link. I forget the like lore behind this, but I think it's something really badass. Like this chart was made around the inception of Bitcoin, maybe like it's a year or two after. But it's a predictive model. It's a log scale, so I hate it. But it's somehow almost always been right. Like it's just crazy prediction that's been out there. Take it with
The rainbow.
yeah, the rainbow. Take it with a grain of salt, though. It does have us at $1 million Bitcoin in 2028, but it's got us at buy zone. We've been chilling in basically a fire sale for the year and a half, 2 years now. Is that 2020? Yeah, towards the halfway through or beginning of 2023. It's basically putting us in fire sale. So who knows? But this thing has somehow tracked and been right forever. I don't know it'll always stay that way, but pretty fascinating little data set in my opinion.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I don't know. I'm not like a super well versed in log charts, and how to I guess look at them. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard
absolutely
the
hate it.
rainbow. I've seen the rainbow price chart many times. So I mean, hopefully it continues for sure. That would be wonderful.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture what this would look like if it wasn't log and it would just be a big ol' S, like just curving up and down, up and down, up and down. But on the log, it straightens it all out just with the exponential y-axis. Yeah, hate log scales, but interesting little little tool. Or what, I don't even know what you would call this little reference. It's interesting, is what it is.
Yeah, real quick before I just wrap up like macro talk, I just want to give at least a few things that I'm doing in case it helps anyone else. Just kind of like from a mindset perspective. Um, just with it being such shitty, market for trading, I'm really trying to pick my spots a lot more. That means I'm taking a lot less trades than what I normally do. Um, and I'm only really taking conviction plays, meaning like I'm only entering stuff where I'm doing my research, and I feel good about long term prospects of it. I'm not blindly following someone that like calls something. I'm doing the research into that. I'm like also looking at obviously what other people post. And that's how I find a lot of stuff. But I'm not entering unless I feel the same conviction by the research that I've done. But I think just when it's a tough market, like it's a lot harder to hold these types of plays if it's someone else's play, where you don't feel that same conviction. Like, and it might not really, even if it was a good play, like it might not work out just because you don't feel that conviction and you sell too early, or you get shaken out, just because it wasn't your personal play. You didn't do the research. You didn't feel that conviction that the other person felt. So I think, especially in these times, I think always this should be the case, but especially now, just have a little bit more, I guess, diligence with the research that you do in your plays before you enter. And this is kind of like something I need to learn. Like this is something that I'm like probably like one of my biggest weaknesses as a trader is like I become too degen. And actually it works out really well when there's a bull market, and because I'm really willing to take a lot of risk, and a lot of times that risk can pay off when the conditions are good, but when conditions are not, it kind of adversely affects me. It's almost like my own kind of leverage that I put on myself, where it's really good in the bull markets, but it's also bad when it's in a bear and we're kind of bleeding out. So I'd say I'd say in general, like I'm trying to be a little bit more risk off, really, doing that research before I make a play. And I think kind of a good rule of thumb is to allocate like a smaller percentage of your bankroll, even if you do want to be a little bit of degen, just allocate a smaller percentage of your bankroll than you normally would to these degen activities, like at least half of normal, I would say. Um, just even if you do want to like try some new stuff or like try out a new protocol or whatever, or like get in a play that you think is pretty interesting. If you do want to like scratch the itch, just do it with a lot smaller percentage of your bankroll than what you normally would anyway, if you are that kind of person. Which I know some people are. Some people I know in here are just take plays, are only just take conviction plays, which I think is very smart as well. But that's kind of just how I'm personally trying to navigate the current environment.
Yeah, I think it's a good shout and a great approach. Heard some similar stuff shared during Boss Dogs, and yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. Yeah, it's like careful with your bags, don't go all in at once. Because we're in such uncertainty and such chop that you could have a fire sale really good deal tomorrow. Who knows? So you gotta really plan your attack, your times, your spots, and your size all accordingly. So yeah, great shouts, man.
Thanks. Yeah. The market's agreeing with us too. They're like, all right, if you're gonna be more risk off, we'll start pumping again. Up to 56.2 now, thankfully. Yeah, that's all I had on macro stuff, Bitcoin, ETH, Sol. You guys have anything else? Feel free to chime in.
I'm just gonna keep refreshing this fear index, man. I think you might have nailed the bottom. We'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, man. Do you have anything else on your docket? PhD?
Just miscellaneous stuff. No big talking points. Just kind of leaving some room in case anybody has questions or anything. One thing I did want to bring up was this AlphaBot airdrop claim, the loyalty claim. Saw them going around in chat this morning. So if you haven't claimed that yet, go ahead and hit up alphabot.app. And if you have claimed and you're unhappy with the amount of points that you got, a reminder to use our app, app.mvhq.io, and go complete some missions and objectives so that you have a big number when it comes to be claim time and you can be happy. But I'm sure everyone's used Alphabot. It's inescapable. So just by means of being in Web3, I'm sure most of us have some loyalty to claim. We'll see what it equates to. But any thoughts there? Any alpha on that? On the old Alphabot?
Is it sellable?
I think at the moment it's just like a claim. It's just like a click to get your points and like do a tweet or whatever. But they are calling their token Boost. That's the ticker. $Boost.
All right, bah humbug. Well, what do you think about ApeCoin?
Man, haven't put an ounce of thought into ApeCoin since other side times. So I'll kick that to Jake and the audience.
I saw a brief I can't talk. Brief Jesus Christ. Brief thread. Why was that so hard to say? About ApeCoin yesterday. Talking about how in it right now, but it was basically talking about how a lot of the VC unlocks and stuff have been exhausted so far, and now it's like then they've been building, and finally it's time. It's been diluted so much, and all the sellers are kind of gone by now, and it's time that they're actually starting to add utility with Ape Chain and other side and all this. Then it might actually be beginning of a nice price appreciation period. But I honestly have not looked into that enough. I just saw kind of like someone's on Twitter's take about it. But what do you think, Ranch? Do you have any takes on ApeCoin? Have you been staking still?
Fuck no. I sold it all. I mean, I'm out. But I was looking. There's a point where like capitulation, right? I mean, it gets so cheap where people find it like maybe this is interesting. And then with the Ape Chain, I haven't been following it closely, but they guess they actually have some shit that they're going to launch there that people will use ApeCoin for. I'm like skeptical, kind of, but then again, I mean, what else are they going to use? If they put some gambling degen shit in there for playing some games, maybe it'll work.
Yeah, I really have not been following like the Bored Ape ecosystem much at all. So I'm wondering, I guess in general, like what's their plans? Has anyone really been following Bored Ape stuff lately? I'm looking at ApeCoin like monthly, like 1 month chart. It actually looks pretty good. It's shown some strength lately, at least. So maybe that is the case.
Yeah, I'll look. I
Like,
saw some thread that explained like all of the specific projects that they have launching on it, and I was like, this is stuff.
oh, it was Captain Trippy. That's who it was who wrote the thread. I think this is the thread I was referencing. I'll post it in voice hangout right now if anyone is interested. But he's basically makes the case that we're at $2.47 equivalent of Sol in 2020 for ApeCoin, which is obviously a very, very bullish take. I think he works for Bored Apes, or at least is a Supervich holder, so I'm sure he's a little bit biased, but regardless. Oh yeah, he's a council member for ApeCoin DAO. So take it with a grain of salt, but there's some interesting points in the thread.
One more topic I saw was Ripple adding smart contracts, Ethereum compatible smart contracts. So Ripple's starting their sidechain quest. I'm gonna drop the link here, voice hangout chat. Are they already done? Did they finish their lawsuit? Like, did they win their case against the SEC, or is it still going on?
Yeah, I think they did.
Seems promising if they, mopped the floor with the government and are now expanding and incorporating Ethereum. Seems like it could be a big deal.
Flow also added EVM compatibility. The Top Shot's favorite infamous chain. So it looks like everyone wants to add on, all while ETH is just bleeding like crazy.
You know that makes no sense.
Yeah, I really didn't have many topics.
I was gonna say this would have been a good follow up had we had the show last week, because 2 weeks ago we did talk about Ethereum being sort of the center of everything and the base layer of all of this shit, and then boom, XRP. It's a big fucking name. It's let's see, number 7 coin, 29 million or 29 billion or 29 million market cap. Pretty crazy. Billion, sorry, would it be? They're all coming, man.
Well, the other piece of news I had was that Frentech is basically, I think their team just left after collecting fees. They handed over their protocol to the community. They say, admin. Wow. I think they burned they renounced all the ownership and stuff with a contract, so nothing else can be changed now. And I think the fees as well. Yeah, there's no more fees. But no fees from either smart contracts or Frentech. Currently go to the Frentech dev multi-sig. I'm not sure actually if the fee switch just got turned off or if it's going somewhere specifically. Maybe someone else that's following Frentech. I don't know who's following Frentech anymore, but maybe someone out there is. But yeah, that's pretty wild given that they were a lot of people talking about the next social app, and I don't know, I feel like Frentech just got shilled relentlessly for a while. And I mean the team made crazy amount of money. I think it was 40 something million in fees. And they also had big investors as well. I think Paradigm was an investor as well, someone else. But yeah, it looks like they kind of just up and left.
Wow. The old recur playbook. That's crazy. Actually, that's not their playbook at all. There's so many rugs. Man, it's kind of surprising. I thought they were on a redemption arc, or at least trying it. That's crazy.
Did we ever get a Circle Tech airdrop?
Now it is fun.time, I think. They
rebranded. Yeah, we haven't got it yet, but actually there is some. I know people are starting to farm it again. It actually looks interesting. Here, I'll post something in time.fun now. Posted in BC Hangout, but they actually did just raised. This was what, 2 weeks ago they posted this. They raised a $3 million seed round, and they actually had Coinbase as one of the leaders in there, as well as some bigger other people. Arthur Hayes, Santiago, Anatoly from Solana Raj from Solana, the co-founders. So actually, a pretty bullish raise for a product that originally we thought was pretty under the radar. So maybe there's some promise there. Hopefully, maybe our bags from farming Circle Tech will be worth something. We'll see.
Man, I pulled up the link and scrolled down. I was like, wow, there was a sale 2 hours ago. Someone buying 5 minutes of their own time. I'm dead. Hey, who knows, man?
That was the most recent sale.
Yeah, 2 hours ago, somebody bought 5 minutes of their own time for $13.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe
Hey.
it's not come back, but
Know your worth. Hey, but it's not completely hopeless, right? It's not like it's complete vapor that's gone. There's some promise there.
yeah, maybe with Friendtech rugging, this will be something. Who knows? It's definitely a competitor.
I had to drop that screenshot in there. Bro is his biggest fan.
Yeah, I didn't. Like I said, it might be a shorter show. I didn't have a really ton on the docket, unfortunately. But anything else you guys wanted to chat through? Still will be here all day.
Funny enough, we almost made time. Just kind of rambling about just the indecision here. But yeah, open to all community topics here, questions, sentiments, bud.
I mean, Bitcoin's pumped almost 1K since we started the show.
I know I don't want to stop now. That's kind of the other problem, right? It's like we stop it and everyone gets mad at us.
Did either of you see the Dolesverse stuff that happened for Doodles?
I saw, I've seen some stuff about it. I didn't actually watch. Do you know, is it like out for like everyone to watch right now, or was it like just some kind of like premiere thing?
Yeah, I think it was a premiere. I think they're doing like the first screeners for like audience and holders and shit coming out.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about that. I think Doodles got a little bit of a pump from them. Let's see. Oh, I'm on blast right now. I'm looking at the blur price real quick. Doodles up 5% on the day. So small pump, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty bearish on Doodle stuff. I don't like the founder.
I agree, actually. I don't really, I mean, it's great that he's getting rich, but I don't really see it promoting much to like anyone that really gives a fuck about that story. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. We'll see like what happens. I mean, cool. They like made it something. They made a premiere, but like we'll see if there is actually any type of traction outside of crypto with it.
Man,
Yeah, I just like Planosaurus has like a Netflix show they're dropping. So it seems like people are actually dropping this IP that they're talking about, but maybe it's just too late or it'll take a long time to grow.
Yeah, it's hard to know if like it's actually going to go anywhere. Like, yeah, like a lot of these teams have raised enough money to like get it started, but who knows if it's actually going to get like adopted in mainstream. I feel like that's a tougher ask. Can't really, like, a lot of things you can't just like force.
Dropped one more article in the chat. This just caught my eyes. I was kind of scrolling through news and stuff. Samsung invested into Startail, who's building the Sonium, the Sony blockchain that we talked about 2 weeks ago. They built other stuff as well. I guess they have their own network, the Astar network. But yeah, I don't know. Just another name to throw into the hat. I know Sony didn't impress you too much, but maybe Samsung is a little better. They're just investing in the parent company, but seems like they're doing a lot of infrastructure stuff for Web3. So might see more integrations into normie apps and appliances. All of a sudden you're going to be doing DeFi on your fridge and farming on your PS6. You just wait.
Refrigerate to earn.
Oh shit! Chill to earn. Something's there. You're onto something.
Yeah, I saw some like vaping company, like Web3, the other day. It was like vape to earn or something like that.
Didn't. No way.
Yeah, it was like paying you to quit or something almost.
It was like
okay.
Apparently it was like vaping to quit vaping or quit smoking. I'm not sure exactly how it worked, but you also earn.
That's crazy. If it was the other way around, that's crazy. Competitive vaping, motherfuckers would it's like kill yourself to earn this airdrop schmeckles. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's the quit, which is actually a good thing. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll catch on.
Fuck, I have a jewel in my hand right now, man. Sign me up. I need to get off the little cancer stick. This is not good. So yeah, if I can earn some crypto, man, fucking sign me up. I need a referral. You won't believe it, but it's on Barachain. I do believe that, actually. It seems like the only network that would host something like this willingly.
Respect. When is Barachain going to launch?
Fucking never, man. We thought hibernation was over, but it's still going. They're going to release the cardio test net, and we're going to do it all over again, run it back. Cool. Well, yeah, that's. Oh, I've got a couple reaches there, but yeah, that's literally everything that I can think to discuss or talk about. I can kick it back out to the audience one more time. Final thoughts, questions, comments for the week, and then we can wrap things up here. Anybody got anything? Guess we'll have Boss Dogs later today, 5 Eastern, like usual, unless something else has popped up. Definitely looking forward to that. Catch you guys there. Jake, did you have anything you want to end on, or I think we've been pretty exhaustive, huh?
Yeah. I think we're good. Just stay safe out there. I think the objective is to survive and advance until we have clear skies and open waters.
Affirmative. Yeah. Careful with your spots, your bags, positions, all that. Play it safe, so that we can catch you next week on another episode of Wake and Jake. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Thanks, y'all.
Peace.